Hi, so I'm doing something a bit different today from my usual reviews, and that's a ranking of the Hatchet franchise from what I consider to be the worst film to the best film in the series. As it stands, I'm recording this in March 2018, so there are currently 4 films in the series. Okay, so what I consider to be the worst one then is number 3. There it is. And for me, this was a definite step back, and perhaps kind of indicated that the franchise was flagging a little bit, running out of ideas maybe. Adam Green wasn't quite as involved this time. He didn't actually direct the film, so perhaps that played a part in my not liking it quite as much. But it's probably not as funny as the first 2 films, and I'm not a huge comedy guy anyway. The humour was kind of an integral part of the other films, so kind of an integral part of their charm. So it kind of this one was lacking in that area a tiny bit for me. There also weren't as many memorable characters, and the Mary Beth character was perhaps not as likeable as she was in the previous 2. And I thought there were too many deaths as well of kind of like minor characters that weren't very important. It was still entertaining though, and still certainly a good fun at times. I did enjoy the film, but just not quite as much as the previous 2. The negatives really are only kind of in comparison to how good the previous 2 films were though, so it's kind of a testament to how good they were really, as opposed to this one being bad. But by no means a bad film. I did enjoy it, but just not as much as the other 2 at that point. So my next one then is the 4th film with recent Victor Crowley, only a few months old. And I did enjoy this one a lot. I thought it was a real return to form for the series. Adam Green was back at the director's helm for this one, so perhaps that helped for me. It's also nice to see Felissa Rose, of course, of Sleepaway Camp fame, in quite a prominent position, quite a prominent role. She did well. It was quite funny. I liked how much of it took place inside the crashed aeroplane as well, which kind of gave it a different angle and kind of set it apart a bit from the other films, made it a bit different. I thought the humour started off as a bit weak and not that good, but it got a lot better as it went on. And the gore effects perhaps weren't as good as what we've seen previously in the series, but again, still pretty strong, so you can't complain. Liked it a bit more than number 3. Not as good as the first 2, but still very good and a real return to form. Not that number 3 was bad. Okay then, next one for me is the original Hatchet, and it was a great start to the franchise. Really liked it. Really likeable character of Ben in one of the main roles. Also, of course, the Mary Beth character played by a different actress at this point, but I liked her as well. All the characters though were really good. They're really entertaining throughout. Also, great cameos, of course, from Robert Englund and Tony Todd, horror legends. Maybe a bit over the top, over the deaths and the gore effects throughout the whole Hatchet franchise, really. But this is the one that kind of introduced that style, of course. And although they're a bit over the top, a bit silly, they're still really good. Great fun. This one really effectively blends humour with kind of comedy and humour with horror. Makes a real potent mix. And maybe because of the humour element, it's not quite as scary as it could have been, but still works really well, and it's still really entertaining from start to finish, and a great start to the franchise. So that's the first one, which of course means that my favourite one from the franchise so far is indeed number 2. And yeah, so this one is my favourite. I like the introduction of Danielle Harris into the Mary Beth role. I thought she did a really good job. Not that the previous actress that was in number 1 did a bad job, because she was good too, but as a Danielle Harris fan, it was good to see her. And of course, the Tony Todd character took on a much greater role this time, and I really liked him, so it was nice to see him in a much bigger role than what we saw previously, where he was only in it briefly for the first one. My favourite thing about this one, though, was how it kind of went into a lot more detail about the origins of Crowley and how he came to be, something that I thought was kind of lacking from the original one, so it was nice to see them go into a lot more detail there about his backstory and his family and such. I like that. Again, with the comedy aspects, it does kind of block itself off from being truly scary, but that's kind of the case for the whole franchise, really. But it's more about sort of good fun than scares, and good fun. This one certainly delivers in spades from start to finish, and it's really watchable throughout. Never kind of flags, really. So yeah, really great film. Definitely my favourite from the franchise, but I do like all the films, so I recommend that you check them all out at some point if you haven't seen them yet. All right, then that's my ranking video. Thanks for watching, and I might do more of these in the future, occasionally mixed in with the reviews. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.